Hello, everybody. This is Dee from Dee's Cute and Crafty, and I am back with my very first 2024 video, and we're kicking it off with Valentine's Day. I am so happy to be back in my crafting room and creating, and I have missed you guys, but I hope you've had a wonderful Christmas and an even more blessed new year to come. So let's get into it. We're going to be using some of these Dollar Tree heart ornaments. I have a few pieces of craft stick. Of course, we're using cardboard because it's free. And I've already cut out my hearts and this little donut. It's about 12 inches in diameter. And then I have some craft paper from Hobby Lobby. We're going to use the rustic looking one. I've got ribbon from Hobby Lobby and from Dollar Tree. I'll be using my Apple Barrel Matte White and also some of the Hello Hobby chalk paint in the color Ruby. So we're going to start out with our cardboard circle, and again that is roughly about 12 inches in diameter. We're going to give it a coat of that chalk paint by Hello Hobby in the color Ruby, and we're also going to paint the white wooden heart ornaments. And you guys, I am strictly crafting from my stash. I have not gone out and bought anything new for Valentine's Day. It's such a short period, so I feel like that whatever I have in my stash, I should use that up. So I have not allowed myself in a Dollar Tree yet for 2024. So my cardboard was a little flimsy just because of the piece that I needed to use to get the size that I wanted. It had a bend in it because it was actually a flap of cardboard. So I'm just going to strengthen it using my little craft sticks. Of course, if your cardboard doesn't have that bend in it, you can skip this step. And now I'm going in with that Hello Hobby chalk paint in the color Ruby that I told you about. And we're going to paint this cardboard red. We're going to do that because I don't want the brown to show through when we start adding our hearts to it. So I took some more cardboard and I just cut out some hearts, just traced them out and then cut them out of the paper. You could actually use the wooden hearts that you see sitting on the table as your template. I wanted a little bit of a bigger heart, so I just grabbed whatever I had in my stash and made a template. You could freehand these, of course, if you'd like. So now that I have those all traced out, I'm just going to cut them out, and then I will be using my Jot glue stick from Dollar Tree to adhere the craft paper to the cardboard. These three door hanger DIYs are super, super simple. If you can cut and paste, you can do this. And I love that they are so affordable to do, especially this one. Just craft paper, cardboard, and some glue. The ornaments from Dollar Tree, actually, when I got those, it was still Dollar Tree. They were $1. They were not $1.25. So this is definitely affordable. So now that I've got my paper glued down, I'm just going to trim it up. Normally, if I have paper glued to wood, I would just use my sander to sand down the edges, but the cardboard doesn't work as good for sanding, or maybe I'm just too heavy-handed. I don't know. So it's easier for me to just cut it because I will sand it too much and rip the cardboard actually. So we're just going to cut it with the scissors. And now that that's all done, I'm going to start placing my hearts where I want them and get everything glued into place. I like the way this is looking. We're going to leave a space at the top for our bow. If you don't want to leave a space at the top, you want to fill everything in, you could actually do one more of the cardboard hearts and put it at the top, but I just wanted to leave room for the bow. And now I'm marking with my pencil where the hearts are going to go once I add the glue. So you guys, welcome, welcome, welcome to my channel. If you are new, thank you for choosing Dee's Cute and Crafty. I'm so blessed, happy, and excited to have you here. And to my ride or dies that have been with me since the beginning of my journey, thank you so much for coming back. I did have a few people drop off, I guess simply because I haven't uploaded in a week, but that's okay. That is all right. God's blessing this channel beyond measure, beyond my belief, and I'm just super excited to see where it's going to go for this year. So anybody that I've lost, I know God's going to give me back twofold. So now that I have my cardboard hearts glued down, I'm just going to add the wooden ones in. I love the filigree look of that, the cutout look of those wood hearts. They are so pretty to me. Just doing a little cleanup, getting rid of the excess glue that seeped out. And now I'm going to take my ribbon. You guys, I do it the same way just about every time. Every now and then I'll cut notches in the ribbon for a different look. But usually I just make my loops. I make my dovetail. I pinch it together. And I just tie it off with some jute cord. It works for me every time, so I stick with it. This ribbon was very stiff, and it was a little bit difficult to work with as far as getting it fluffed out. And I did end up having to actually glue the bow after I fluffed it out. I had to glue it down so that it stayed fluffed out because it kept trying to close back up, if that makes any sense. Just making my little holes in the top of the cardboard, which are super easy to make, using one of my sharp little tools there. And I am just going to tie this bow to the cardboard wreath using the tails from the jute. And again, I ended up having to go back and use some glue, but that's okay. It worked out fine. This one came out really pretty, and I do love it. But is it my favorite of the three that I'm going to show you today? Nope, it is not. If you'd like to know which one is my favorite, you're going to have to keep watching. And as always, I need you to comment down below, let me know which one is your favorite of the three that I'm bringing you today. And here you see me fussing with this bow, because as I said, this ribbon, it's good quality ribbon. It's super stiff. So I am going to just glue it down a little bit. And here she is. Here is finished DIY number 1. You guys, if you are enjoying this content, and I truly hope you are, don't forget to give it a big fat thumbs up. That lets YouTube know you're enjoying it. They share my content out so others can enjoy it, and it helps my channel grow. And for that, I'm always thankful. Moving on to DIY number 2, I am going to be using these wood pieces with the letters on them. I got that from Joann's. I have one of the Dollar Tree wood rounds. I will be using some eucalyptus or boxwood actually, from Walmart. My ribbon is from Joann's and Hobby Lobby. I'll be using my Apple Barrel matte white chalk paint. And you guys, this sign is one of those flamingo signs from the summer that has all of that glitter on it. And in the beginning, when I was showing you my materials, I showed you the back of it because I just covered it in craft paper. I didn't even try to sand it. I just said, nope, don't feel like it, not doing it today. So I covered it and flipped it over and used the back side. We're just going to give it a rough coat of this Apple Barrel matte white chalk paint. Once that dries, you guys know I like to make things a little old and weathered, just a little bit. So I am going to sand down the edges of this sign and a little bit in the middle, but you can't really see it that much. You can see the sides or the edges really well, but the middle, it didn't lift as much. If you want it to lift more, you can use a wet baby wipe. Squeeze out some of the liquid of the baby wipe if it's super wet, and then just wipe it, and that lifts up some of the paint and gives you the same kind of look that sanding would give you. Now these letters were $10 for a pack, and I got them at the end of season, I don't know, last year or the year before, because these have been in my stash for a minute. I picked them up from Joann Fabrics, and they were 75% or like maybe even 90% off. And I scooped them up and I wish they had more because I knew I was going to use them at some point in my Valentine's Day decor or my crafting, which is pretty much the same thing since I use it in my home. Anyway, I digress. So I love these. These are perfect for what I want to do. And I'm kind of measuring out with my pencil, trying to get an even measurement in between, but then I end up just eyeballing it anyway. So I removed the stems or the little wood skewers from the bottom. Some of them just actually pulled out really easily, and then one of them I had to cut. So I'm eyeballing again, looking at it, making sure I have it centered and even and all of the things. I love that I didn't even have to paint it. It was already done for me. Ah, and is this one my favorite of the three? It absolutely is. I love this one so much, you guys. It is beautiful. It's very simple, very easy, and just gorgeous. I love it. So I'm adding some wood glue and some hot glue to get my letters adhered to my wood round or my MDF round. Making sure that I don't mix the hot glue and the wood glue together because it just makes a mess when you do that and it doesn't really stick. So now I want to just do a quick dry brush on these letters just to make them pop a little more and to give it that old rustic look that I absolutely love. If you're heavy-handed with your dry brush, you can always just go back with some sandpaper and just soften it up a little bit. I like this the way it is, so we're going to just leave it. And now we're going to make a bow the same way I always do. Make my loops. If I use more than one ribbon, then I make loops on each ribbon, stack it together. And if I put tails on, I put those at the back and pinch it all together and tie it off with a jute cord. We're not going to do tails with this one because I don't want to cover up the word love. So I'm just going to add my boxwood greenery to the back. Oh, I am making tails. I forgot I did it. I didn't think I was going to put any on. Well, they're going to be short. And that way we can still see the wording. I didn't end up using the ribbon with the gingham on the ends or on the edges. We're just going to stick with this heart ribbon. I think it is perfect for this DIY. Adding a dab of glue to the end of my jute cord so that I can then thread it through the holes at the top of the sign. Got a little bit of paint in one of the holes, so we got to clean it up so I can thread my jute. And we're just going to tie that off, add a dab of glue, give it another little twist and another little tie, and we're going to use this as the hanger. There she is. Just a little bit of fluffing, and she is super cute and ready to be displayed. I love it. And here is DIY number 2. So pretty. Very simple, but absolutely gorgeous, you guys. I love it. I do, I do. And I hope you guys do too. Moving on to DIY number 3 and the last one of the video. I have one of the Dollar Tree wood slat hearts, ribbon of choice. Going to be doing some hand lettering. I have beads, but I'm not gonna end up using them. I have my Hello Hobby and Antique Wax and also my Waverly White chalk paint. I have these little wooden hearts from Dollar Tree from my stash. And again, this one is another quick and easy DIY. I also have some wood glue and I'll be using hot glue. And I'm going to take my baby wipe and apply after I squeeze some of the liquid out of it because it's a little wetter than I need it to be. And I just I just squeeze it into a paper towel and then I can use that later as well. So I like to apply it with a baby wipe because it just goes on smoother. It goes on with the moisture that you need, because if you use antique wax, I'm guessing you guys know this, but for anybody that's new that doesn't know that, if you use antique wax straight, if you just paint it on and you don't wipe it off with something wet, it stays sticky. It doesn't dry properly. So I just use a baby wipe and skip a step. I don't have to brush it on and then wipe it off. So I'm going to apply that antique wax to the top and the bottom with slats of my heart. And then I'm going to paint the middle of it with the, um, what is it, Waverly White chalk paint. Now I'm going in with a tiny, tiny paintbrush and I'm just getting in between those wood slats just because it looks neater that way. It looks more store-bought that way as opposed to just leaving it undone. So now that that's done, I took my pencil and I wrote, "Hello, Valentine." And I am going back in with a brown permanent marker just to pick up the brown that's in the top and bottom of this DIY. And I'm writing the word hello. And I'm showing you that I just wrote it plain to begin with. And to give it that calligraphy look, I call it faux calligraphy. I'm sure everybody else that does it this way does too. I go back down and I make my down strokes thicker. That gives it that calligraphy look. That is how I do it because I really don't know how to just freehand calligraphy. I pretty much draw calligraphy, if that makes any sense. But you see how I'm doing it, and it comes out really cute. And yes, I am wearing, this is my Hallmark Christmas movie watching shirt. I'm wearing that sweatshirt, and it is January 1st. My daughter made this sweatshirt for me some years ago, and I love it. And I didn't wear it this season, so I popped it on today. So that's how it looks once you get your downstrokes thicker than your upstrokes. And now I'm just going to take a fuchsia colored pink permanent marker and go over the word Valentine. And because I was not satisfied with the way it looked, I could still see the pencil marking through the permanent marker. And these are jot markers from Dollar Tree. At least the pink one is. The brown one is a fine tip permanent marker, and I believe this came from Walmart. But anyway, I could see the pencil writing through it. So I went back with my Apple Barrel Fuchsia acrylic paint by Plaid, Apple Barrel Plaid, same thing. And I went over it just to cover the pencil markings with that paint. And now I'm just going to hot glue and wood glue my little hearts on the edge because we're going to put a bow on it. Of course we are. Put a bow on about 90% of everything I do. If you don't like bows on everything, then do you. Don't do it. This is just inspiration to get you started. But I love bows, so I put them everywhere. So we're going to put our little hearts over to the edge so that when I put my bow on, it doesn't cover them up. Going to use the rest of that gingham and burlap ribbon. And then because I felt like this ribbon was better for the DIY because it has pink in it and it pulls in the pink from the word Valentine, I changed out that heart and glitter gingham ribbon for the Dollar Tree pink, white, and red heart ribbon. This one that you see right here with the red foil on the edges. I started to trim that off, but decided to just leave it. Making our loops and stacking them. And this is the one that does not have tails on it because I knew it would cover up the word hello. And the reason I opted not to use the beads was because it was getting kind of busy. I thought, no, less is more for this one. And it had enough going on. in it already. So I did not use the beads for the hanger. And I really love the rustic look of the heart. So I just decided just to leave it. Just going to tie that off and fluff it out. And I ended up having to glue this ribbon in place as well. Just going to use the holes that are already provided for me. And I'm going to tie this off in the back, glue that down, and use the extra jute as my hanger. And here is finished DIY number 3. It's going to be hard for you guys, I'm sure, to choose a favorite because it's always hard for me to choose a favorite. But I do like the simple one that just says love in the middle. But this one is really cute as well. So you guys, here are all 3 DIYs that I've made for you today. This is the final reveal. I hope you like them. I just thank you so much for joining me today. Again, it's such a blessing to have you here. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's 2024 already. The year went by so quick. Big changes, not to my channel, just life changes that you guys will eventually see if you haven't seen it already. But I'll be talking to you about it at some point. Again, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Give this video a big fat thumbs up. It helps my channel grow, and I appreciate and love you for it. Until I see you guys in my next video, be blessed, stay safe, and craft something beautiful today, you guys. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.